Cool, guys. So let me share the screen and I'll start here our call with a little bit of an introduction about deep funding. I think that's important for anyone joining us for the first time, also for anyone watching us in the recording. So I think we need to give a little bit of context, and I'll try to keep it simple for everyone who's already familiar with it. So today we have here our town hall, and let's start here with the agenda. The town hall is the space where the community basically gathers to talk about deep funding, everything deep funding. And for today, we have here a little bit this introduction about deep funding. We also have here an invite from Andrea for the RFP design for an improved reputation and governance system. There will be a workshop next week, and Andrea will tell us a little bit about that and about that opportunity, where I invite you everyone to be there. I'm sure it's going to be worth your time and very interesting discussion. Reputation, definitely super important for what we are building here in Deep Funding and in SingularityNET as a whole. And then we have the SYBIL, the General Purpose Forecaster, a proposal carried out by Kevin, right? Kevin and his team. And he's going to tell us all about it, all about the progress, what they've been able to deliver. And I think that would be very exciting to see one of the ideas that got voted by the community coming to life. Moving forward, what is deep funding? You might be asking as a new person. Well, basically, in my own opinion, deep funding is a decentralized grants program tasked to fund projects and initiatives that are actually beneficial to SingularityNET. As such, we need to to understand what is actually the goal of SingularityNET. And here, straight from the deep funding page, you'll find that our mission is to create a democratic, decentralized, and beneficial AGI. And if you want to join the community, come. It's open for everyone. We have here our values. And if you resonate with them, if you like openness, if you like creativity, collaboration. We have a little interruption. Guess it's part of the creativity, part of the community, and kindness as well. This is the place for you to be here. Also, very important to note is Deep Funding is a community-run program. As such, there are many opportunities for you as a community member. Of course, the most basic is as a decentralized grants program, you can propose your ideas and try to get them funded, try to get support to build them. But you can also, if you hold AGX tokens, you can vote, decide which ideas take us close to this beneficial AGI and should get this funding. You can review and help proposals improve their proposals to come back stronger in the next round. You can be part of the discussion and the whole governance about deep funding and where we should move forward. And if you do the other four things well, you can have opportunities in circles where you're actually working to help the community deliver this funding, this fund, this grants program, because at the end of the day, we have the deep funding team with Jan and Rafael here, but the rest of the process is carried out by community members like myself and by circles with specific roles, such as the marketing circle or the deep funding focus group, or even the town hall circle, that it's all about the town halls that you're here watching. And about this town hall, this is for you. This is where the community gathers to discuss. We want to hear your opinion, so please don't be shy. Tell us what you think, come out the mic and ask questions. It's the perfect place to learn and to start your deep funding journey. And if you're a proposer, if you're somebody in the community and you want to speak, you want to inform us about what you're doing, for example, a community initiative, a project you're delivering, and you want to inform about progress or completion, you can come just right now, just talk to us, but we are creating a website, a page, a community page where you'll be able to apply for this. And after, you can also host breakout rooms. So if you want to talk about any specific topic that is interesting for what we're doing here, interesting for beneficial AGI, whatever it might be, you can just host your own breakout room, tell us what it is about, and the community, if it's interested, it'll be there to talk to you in a very nice way, I think. Finally, let's move on to Andrea, that will tell us a little bit more about the RFP design for an improved reputation and governance system. Please, Andrea. Unless, of course, Jan and Rafael, do you have anything you'd like to say?
No, I'd like to give the stage to Andrea. Maybe the only thing I'd like to say that you asked about my day. I had a great day today, and I think there's a lot of positivity going on in deep funding at the moment. So most of that, well, I wouldn't say behind the scenes because we don't have a scenes, don't have a curtain. But some things actually do relate to becoming more transparent. But I'm believing more in showing than telling. So over the next weeks and later, you will see more things coming along and new things that I have been discussing about in the past. So let's not dwell on that. And I'm not sure, Rafael, if you have anything to add to that.
No, that my days was also very nice. Yes, as Jan mentioned, we are working hard in this transparency efforts, and also since always, but mostly now recently on the education as well. So we want to really give this to the community and many opportunities and places where the community can grow, creating the right framework for it. So many things happening, and this type of what you are going to see today, for instance, it's also related to these opportunities. Keep in touch via Mattermost right channels and also in our town halls and community gatherings to know more. Please, Andrea.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Rafael and Jan and folks. I want to do a quick overview. This is a quick update of where we are in our project because we've just completed milestone 1 and we are just kicking off milestone 2. And I would like to get the community involved in that next effort. I'm going to share my screen and show you. I tend to work quite a bit in Miro, as the folks who have participated in our workshops are familiar with. What our goal that we're trying to achieve is we're trying to craft very clear, very detailed, but concrete and needs and requirements for reputation algorithms and tools and data. Where this should be used. So we're trying to be agnostic about how they get built, but we want to identify the most impactful and most important places in the deep funding process where reputation can matter and can do something useful. So we held 2 workshops. Our first one really was identifying, sort of walking through the process that you guys are familiar with, step by step, and identifying the biggest pain points, and then digging into those pain points. What's the root cause? Where do they really come from? The next workshop that we did is we took the 4 top pain points. I'll give you the preview. They were basically, there's too many proposals for us to review as a community and as experts. There's just a volume. Next one was there's a lot of visible vote farming and grant farming. We see folks who are just out there rather than talking about the merits of the case and what really matters. They're just like, hey, vote for this, do this, add this comment, which adds to the noise. We're concerned that the community and expert reviews are there, but they're not really used and baked into the vote itself. And finally, evaluation is incredibly important, but it's really hard to do. So often because the milestones that get through are not terribly clear, they're hard to evaluate. So bunch of pain points. And the second workshop really went through and said, like, okay, how might we use different kinds of reputation to solve each of these pain points? And what would that mean, and exactly how we would use that data? And then we really wrapped it up and we built ourselves a list. And this is up on our milestone 1 deliverable that's linked in. I think Rafael has a link for that, and I can publish it also in the chat. That talks about, okay, you guys, step by step, here at each stage of deep funding, what are the top types of reputation that would be helpful here, and what would we do with it? So that's the milestone one. The next workshop is two things, and this is what we're going to try and do next week. One, we want the community feedback on this. Like, what about this? What about this? Is this really going to work? How does that behave? You forgot something. So that's a nice chunk of feedback. And then a lot of it is going to be prioritizing. We have a lot in here. And the next step of our work, of our project, is to take not 10, but 1 or 2 of these and do a really deep dive into the details of exactly how we would collect the data and what kinds of algorithms could play in here and how it would impact it. So more descriptive. But we want to do that on the thing that's most important to the community, not do either spread like peanut butter or pick a topic that you guys say like, yeah, that's not the most important thing to work on. So that's our workshop next week. So it's feedback on this deliverable and prioritization of the next set of work. Any questions?
Yes.
Awesome. Thanks, Jan.
When is the workshop exactly? Will we get an invite? And would it be helpful or unhelpful if Rafael or me would attend?
That is both great questions. Let me put the Luma link in the chat here. The other thing that we were talking about doing is, I think that workshop's going to take an hour, and that's a lot of time for a town hall. But I might do a pilot and then also just run the prioritization work here in this town hall next Thursday. The current workshop is planned for Wednesday, and I'm hesitating because I need to look at I'm hesitating because I want to look at the UTC exactly when it is.
Well, you can also message later on Mattermost.
I'll message it. It's 2 p.m. UTC on Wednesday the 7th.
Oh, that's a very reasonable time.
Okay, good. The other thing I was going to say, and one of the reasons I was doing the town hall is I really want a lot of participation. So I was considering doing 2 workshops. So I think that time plus also a town hall workshop would get us a lot of input on the
I think it's a perfect topic for a town hall. It's all about the community, and it's about topics that are relevant to all of the community as well. So I see no objection personally. I'm not sure what Rafael thinks, Cardoso in this case, about spending an hour of the town hall time on this. But from my perspective, it would be perfectly fine to do that, or appropriate even. But that doesn't answer the other question yet. Are Rafael and me allowed there?
We would love, yes. I'm actually wondering if it might be useful for us to, me to grab some time with the 2 of you independently. So for a deep dive to catch you up.
Yeah.
But yes, I think because I think that might be useful. And that way you guys don't feel the need to dominate the conversation with the rest of the community. But we know that we've gotten in what you've been saying.
Yeah, maybe that's a good way. Yeah, indeed. I don't want to intimidate anybody from the community. It's important to get authentic, realistic content from the community in, definitely. Maybe this is already a good moment to state there are a few things that we're working on that are really connected to what we're doing here. So one of the things you mentioned, community experts, we are really trying to push the creation of high-valued community experts in our organization. We have ideas on how to do that, and we are already progressing a little bit there. I think it looks very promising. So this is a really important thing, and I think critical success factor for deep funding in the future.
That actually is incredibly helpful. We had identified actually expertise as something that was really needed, but we were very uncertain about how that would be handled, what the right data is. And so we had planned actually our 4th workshop to be all about unpacking expertise, but if there's already work going, let's collaborate. I'll connect you on Mattermost.
And in fact, we want not just to have one group of experts. We want to have experts with different seniority levels identified and maybe educate them, etc. There's some story there, which also ties into reputation. We want have reputation for these experts and work on that as well. So I think that's a perfect match. Another thing that we are working on is a new circle called Data Analytics Circle. So the purpose of this circle would be to be very independent thinking and advising the rest of the community and the staff about all things, actually all things, period. Because everything is data related. First and foremost, voting and algorithms and reputation algorithms, and also how that converts to voting weights, etc. So that would be a very important aspect. But yeah, also anything else that has a data property within deep funding. Let's not exaggerate here. The last thing, and that is really a little bit further down the line, that will take a long time to develop, but we're working on an RFP on what we originally called a jobs and collaboration portal. But I think developer collaboration would be more appropriate. And the way we're thinking about right now is that also ties into reputation a lot. Basically, we want to visualize on the profile of any participant in deep funding, whether you're a proposer, an expert, a circle member, or all three of them combined. What you have been doing, what your activities are, what your experience is, etc. And then use that to make all kinds of things better searchable, better, more transparent, allow for communications, have updates, and a lot of other interesting features. We're talking about that right now on a specific work group, of which actually Rafael Cardoso here is also a valued member. So yeah, I think whatever we do on the reputation front and on the data front will also have a visibility side in that new portal. It will actually be a complete new portal that we plan to develop around this. It's still very early stages in thinking. This was one of the things that I didn't want to mention at the start because I thought I should show instead of mentioning, but this is such a perfect opportunity, I couldn't let it go.
That's exciting. Great to hear.
Yeah, for myself also, I would love to follow up after our last call, Andrea, especially because I saw you mentioned about the playbook that I gave you the link from the past round. And my vision for the operations of this decentralized, we are aiming for being as decentralized as possible. And by doing that, we have to have a certain level of quality in the instructions that the community that perhaps is the same the first time that they are joining to execute tasks, right? Like the round 4, for instance. And we have roles that are specific to that process. So the reputation will come along with this. Who are going to perform better in that specific part of the playbook, and also to create, because by doing that you are improving your reputation, right? So how we feedback the system with the execution of those tasks. So it's going to become with a lot of points of entrance for people that are coming first onboarding, but also to retrofit the reputation system. So yes,
That's awesome.
very excited with this.
Yeah, that it's great that you guys are already working on new places where the reputation can be used and new places to source the data for the reputation system, because that's what it needs. And the data analysis circle will be so powerful. Awesome. Okay.
Count on those.
Yeah, we didn't even mention the Deep Funding Academy, right? Which will also be an important factor for all of this and reputation. But we'll keep that for another day.
A lot of things happen, as we said, yeah.
Yeah, we need to keep something to surprise people every week, right? We cannot say everything at once. Thank you so much, Andrea. I've also put the link there, guys. Please go there. I think Walter has a question. Walter, please feel free.
Hi, Andrea. Curious, have you been able to uh, derive any value out of earlier work on the workshops around reputation that they've been held?
Yes, I've definitely been building on the work that, Dominic has been doing and other folks have been doing. The other thing, Walter, as you know me, I'm trying to keep this very much in the problem space. My assumption here is that we will not only will other people be designing the algorithms that connect the two needs that we are defining, but actually we'll have multiple algorithms we can assess and compare and see which ones are getting us different results. A lot of the other work has been so I'm trying to sort of fill in the gaps between the other work that has been done and the next stuff that has to get done. That's my
That
approach.
is great. I'm happy to hear that that was useful.
Absolutely.
Felix has crafted the chat interface to that set of findings. Was the chat interface in any way useful?
Ooh, I missed that. If you can
Okay,
shoot that.
I'll forward you a link, and if at any point you want any AI tooling support on any of this kind of stuff, let me know, because I've been into that last 6 months or so.
Awesome. Sounds fun. Thanks, Walter.
Yeah, thank you, Walter. That's awesome. That's what we want to see, a collaboration, people helping each other, and we are all building towards the same goal. So that's awesome. Thank you. And thank you as well, Andrea. And once again, everyone, don't forget to register and to be a part of this workshop. And right now, if Kevin is ready, we'll move to the presentation of the proposal they have already delivered, SYBIL, the General Purpose Forecaster by Kevin RC and Siren V.
All right, thank you. Yeah. Hey everyone. I'm just really happy to see all of you here. And also thank you so much, Rafael, for the opportunity to give us the chance to present like always. So I think the agenda is that I can first maybe give maybe a 5 to 7 minutes just to kind of give a reflection and some takeaways about our experiences with developing SYBIL from ideation all the way to becoming a service. And then after that, I can leave a lot of the time to Siren, who is one of my data scientists, who's very instrumental in a lot of the development and evaluation of SYBIL. So he also has a kind of description about SYBIL, as well as a demo to showcase to us. And then I can then finally end it with some closing remarks. So does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds good. And thank you as well, Kevin, for coming here to the community, showing what you're doing and putting yourself out there. I think that's really important. And I think as the community votes, that's what we want to see. We want to see these projects come to life. So thank you for your work.
Yeah. Yeah, we aim to deliver. Yeah, so I guess before getting started, I just want to see some quick hands. Who are you guys are currently actively developing projects for deep funding or in general? Cool. And who's here currently interested in potentially being involved in deep funding as a builder? See, okay.
I think some people are just being shy here.
Okay. Okay, cool. So yeah, so I think the first part is more for more for you guys. As it's just kind of like a reflection about kind of our experiences going through the deep funding process, from having an idea to like submitting a proposal to actually working on the project to finally kind of onboarding and then trying to open it up to users. And as well as some of the lessons that we can get from it. So, so for those who are not familiar with SYBIL, we are a general purpose forecaster. And then the goal is that we can create kind of like personalized forecast for whichever type of like domain that you have. So this idea actually started around 2 years ago. And then around that time, I was an open source contributor to another project. It's called NeuroProfit. So NeuroProfit what is a successor of another library called Profit from Facebook, or now Meta, which is the goal is to create like kind of a generalized forecaster. And then NeuroProfit is a successor to that, which has profit but has more capabilities. For example, involves more like a hybrid approach between statistical and neural network model. So in short, like a more advanced model than Profit. So I had the privilege to be a open source developer then. So that's kind of like where I started working with time series. And then around 2 years ago, I was actually attending the AGI 2022 conference. And then just kind of exploring, getting to know more the folks at SingularityNET. And then around that time, I actually came up with the idea for like SYBIL, which is like trying to create a general purpose forecaster, which is instead of trying to create a super advanced model, why not have a lot of different models that you can like assemble together, and then hopefully that can produce an even better model, etc. And then so I kind of took the idea and I kind of basically run with it. So that kind of leads to the first lesson, which is preparation is key. So I think around that time, I think Deep Funding 2 is kind of going around, which I think occurred starting in December of 2022. And the AGI conference was I think in August or September. So I was kind of preparing, just kind of honing in, like letting the idea like cook and marinate. And then for like a few months, and then before actually being like able to submit the proposal to Deep Funding number 2. So I think having that few months kind of really helped. And that actually that actually segues to my second takeaway, which is to keep it simple. So I think from the beginning, when writing the proposal, even though like SYBIL is like a stacked ensemble model and involves multiple different models, the goal is to try to still have it very usable, like user friendly. So the design was we just have one service and have two functions, train and forecast, where the train is you input given time series data, and then that train function will kind of train the data and then output a fitted model. And then the forecast function is the user then put in the fitted model and then output a model forecast. So all the like complexity around like our architecture, it will be kind of hidden within these functions. So it makes it very, very simple for the user. And then when Siren is going to be kind of showcasing the UI, we also wanted to make the UI as simple as possible. So the third like takeaway is definitely forming a team. Like for example, having like data scientists, researchers, and also like developers, as well as people who can like do project management and have, like focus on like operations. It definitely involved this is definitely like a team project. And it really helps like if you have people from like different skill sets that can help with it. So so we have that team in the during the proposal. And then, so fortunately, we were able to get the funding approved in Deep Funding 2, and then we started to implement SYBIL. I think starting in like May, June of last year, 2023. So another thing that we kind of learned when actually implementing is to start simple yet end to end. So that means like, especially if you have like very complex AI models, it's always good to start something very simple, but have like something end to end so you can see what the end product will be. So like one example in our case was that we are developing like our service, but we still wanted to have like Jupyter notebooks in Python, so then we can execute and then we can run the service, get the results, and then plot it, and then see how our like implementation does perform. And we start with more of the simpler like statistical models, such as um like like data or RIMA, and then work our way into more complex models such as like GBM in later milestones. So that even like in our milestones, like we want like start as simple and then try to and then and then further like tack on more models and then like while iterating with it. Yeah, so another thing is while kind of like working on on SYBIL is that yeah, I think I mean, there's always like some headwinds, there's challenges that happen. There are some like blockers and things happen, but it's okay. And then like one example is that for our civil team, like we also had our like fair share of like team turnover. Or for example, we had like people and like kind of moving on, like were too busy and had had other priorities to do. So we kind of had to go ahead and then adapt. And then another thing, like a kind of a takeaway of like things happening is that kind of like working with like like kind of working with actually the deployment for for like the civil model. And I think as other people who are actually actively building can attest that that is also like another like major challenge as well. And like for our team, like a lot of our team members are more from the like the engineering and like the AI camp. So then when we're working with like trying to deploy to like the blockchain, it's kind of like it's kind of very different, kind of like different infrastructure and skill set, et cetera. So maybe like one example could be when we were first like getting started to deploy, and we needed to actually like we wanted to register our organization on like onto IPFS. And then I think we at that time we had like we had trouble because I think we have to like also need to pay like some kind of fee. Like I think even right now, like Singularity like when we're deploying, we're deploying onto Ethereum. So we had to like pay like gas fees for it. And not only we have to pay the fee, but we had to pay the kind of like the right amount of fee so it can actually be so that could actually like that actually be able to be processed. So that is like definitely a kind of a like a learning curve from our end. And it's probably a learning curve for a lot of folks here that are more from like the AI side. and not as much in the chain as well. And I think there's also the kind of like the shit like the mentality differences where like those in the AI, they're more like more from the like corporate like industry where it's like Silicon Valley could like move fast, break things, have like libraries and then rapidly develop. Or like those in the blockchain, it's more of like it's like consistency driven. And you can even see like how like like it is like in the organization. For example, like in like AI, I can see a lot, there's it's like a very Silicon Valley, a lot of like startups and like industry. While in blockchain is a lot of like yeah, a lot of consensus. Like even in like SingularityNet is like there's a lot of like formation of circle and because of the decentralization mindset. So I think a good so I think that there is that kind of like this learning or even this like cultural like learning curve as well, especially if you want to get those who are in the AI space to be more involved in projects like in SingularityNet and Deep Funding as well. And I could definitely talk a lot more about this. Like it's kind of like a tangent. And maybe another time, but there's that but like blockchain and AI is kind of like um it's like very I want to say like oil and water, but there is different kind like there is different kind of like there are some kind of like differences, not just the infrastructure, but also like the culture as well.
I
And
think that's a
then
good topic for another for you to bring to the town hall, and we can all have a discussion as a community. Sounds like something very
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah, that's definitely could be another like another yeah, a long discussion right there as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm the chief product officer of SNet. So
yeah,
I'm loving what you're saying. And because I come
yeah,
from both sides of that fence, I've worked a lot on the AI enterprise side earlier and
yeah,
even the telecom side. And you're 100% right. And in fact, we're in the middle of creating two POCs right now to basically make things more developer centric, specifically from the AI side. Because you're 100% like paying gas fees to register an agent using IPFS is painful. And
mhm,
we're basically redesigning a lot of that experience right now
yeah,
as we speak
mhm,
to make it more clear and more common, like something like even the APIs should look more like Replicate or something like that instead of like some gRPC type thing that, most people aren't super familiar with or some, type of billing or payment method more specifically that makes it easy to convert fiat to tokens.
yeah,
Because, so though all these things I'd love to hear offline, you can feel free to hit me up. But I'm
mhm,
just reinforcing a lot of what you're saying and that we're actively on it. I'm pretty new here. I've only been here like less than 2 months. So, we're in the middle of actually prototyping this stuff right now. So it'd be great to get your input.
But
yeah,
you're moving like a whirlwind, Nick, and it's great to hear.
yeah, yeah,
Feel honored to have two of my very esteemed colleagues here tonight, Nick, CPO, and Matt, CAIO. So we're in very good company here tonight. And Nick, you just jumped in on the exact right moment when Kevin was explaining his experiences. So you have a sixth sense for this, and thank you for being here. And yeah, I also want to mention here, I think you're in those 2 months, you're doing a great job, and yeah, I think we have a lot to look forward to with you on the steering wheel. I think we'll see a lot of positive change coming, hopefully very fast.
Thanks, Jan. I mean, I like to say none of us is as smart as all of us. So, all the feedback from people here is really key. And the key is just to get use and feedback as fast and quickly as we can.
yeah,
By the way, Neil and Mike Duncan are also here, Jan.
Yeah, I saw. Oh, Mike. Yeah, yeah. I saw Neil, but I wasn't quite sure if it was the same Neil that I knew. But yeah, we are in good company tonight, and we have a very great gathering. So yeah,
mhm,
thank you all. And looking forward for the next chapter, the demo from Siram, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey everyone. So this is Sairam here. I go by Sai as well. I hope you guys are having a good day and really nice to see all of y'all. So yeah, if I can just quickly share my screen. All right, awesome. So as Kevin alluded to, the idea with SYBIL was that a lot of these statistical models in time series, they exist out there, right? And some of them are pretty cutting edge. But then the idea with SYBIL is that uh, we want to try to combine them, create an ensemble of them, kind of a wisdom of the crowds approach to say that while some models may perform good on some data sets, some models perform worse on other data sets. But if you combine the kind of the knowledge of all of these models, something Nick said a bit earlier, none of us is smarter than all of us. That thing kind of stuck, because that's literally what we're doing here with SYBIL as well, with the ensemble architecture. And so what we've found, and something that I will show later on as well, is that it leads to more consistent results across a variety of different domains. So in SYBIL, we also have the option and the functionality for the user to go ahead and actually kind of customize these model requests. So that's something I'll be showing, but essentially they have the option to choose how to pre-process the data and what kind of models to feed in, as well as the specific model parameters if they want to do so. But then we also have an option for a default model configuration if they want to just get a quick forecast for the data set. So having said that, I think we can jump straight into our application itself. So this is the SYBIL UI that we have right now, the general purpose forecaster, right? And so the idea is that we want to be able to use it for any given domain. And we have two functionalities here. As Kevin had mentioned, we have the train API, where we take a data set and then we train different models on that data set, so it learns the patterns present in the data. And then for any future period or any historical period, you can then produce a forecast for those dates, and then use that to compare, or use that forecast to inform decision making in the future, right? So if I just scroll down here, there's a little bit of an overview, but just to give you a bit of a glimpse of what this can do. So here, let's take a straightforward data set, for example, right? Airline passengers. So what you can see here is a dataset preview. So this is essentially passengers that fly an airline from the year 1949 up to the year 1958, a typical time series kind of dataset, right? And we also get a dataset preview here. So as you can see, it's pretty highly seasonal data. And this is the thing with statistical models, is that when there's a good trend in seasonality, this is something they're able to pick up fairly easily. And so if I then just go with the default model configuration, I can then train it on this data. And the idea is, if you just give it a few seconds, the model learns these patterns, and then it combines some underlying models like the auto theta, the auto ETS model, and then it combines them in a smart way to get a good result. And so here we have a model response, which essentially just tells you what the API has returned in terms of like some performance indicators and the meta model. But for our purposes, we want to forecast. So I fed in data up to the year 1958. If I want to forecast on this data set, I can feed in data from 1959 onwards and then click forecast. And it's that simple. Now give it a few more seconds, and then you should be able to get a forecast. So as you can see up here, within the future data set, I've also provided this Y column. So the thing here is that this is optional. So all I need to do is, if I want to forecast, let's say the next 2 years, right, 1959 and 1960, I just need to provide these dates. But then if you want to also, for example, evaluate or compare visually how they do versus actuals, right, you also have the option to provide the actual values. And then what SYBIL will do is that it will generate a forecast, as you can see here. So here in blue color, this is the forecast that's been generated by SYBIL. So it's able to capture some of that seasonal pattern. And if it detects that you had also provided future data, actual data, then it will also give you a visual comparison of what that looks like in terms of compared to actuals. So as you can see here, this in gray is the actual and in blue is the forecasted values, right? So this is one example use case. Think I can see a hand raise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maddie? You are muted. I'm not sure if you're aware. Well, Maddie, this is your time to speak up. Otherwise, we'll continue and we'll give you an option later on. Let's just continue, Sairam. And oh, it says host does not allow to speak. Oh, maybe you have been muted. So can somebody unmute Maddie, please?
Can you try to unmute now, Maddie? Strange, it should be working on my side. Let me see.
You can unmute her from there.
Yeah, it's working for Rubio, for example, and we didn't block it for anyone. So I don't know what's happening. Can you maybe try to come back?
Okay, she says she will write the question, but you can directly unmute her.
Yeah, no, I can't. I can only ask to unmute, and I've asked. I don't have an option to directly unmute him, but let me see.
No, that would also be weird, right? If you would be unmuting somebody, because I might have a private conversation with my wife that I don't want to share with the world, and would be very weird if you would be unmuting me at that moment.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I cannot see. I don't know if he just left. I cannot see him anymore. Probably he did.
He's
All
trying
right.
to rejoin.
Yeah. Okay. We just admitted him back.
All right.
Maddie, does it work for you, or I guess not?
Strange.
So strange. Let me see. Well, guys, please continue. I'll try to work it out with Maddie. No, don't stop because of this, and let's see what we can do.
Yeah, in the meantime, Madi can otherwise write down his answers and then we questions, and then we can get back to it later.
Okay. Awesome. So that was one example use case, right? So now I want to jump into a little bit of a more complex use case. So let's take actually an interesting crypto example. So here I'm gonna look at the AGIX crypto price actually as a forecasting example here. So let's say I feed in the daily prices. So I've sourced this from CoinGecko, for instance, and I'm looking at year-to-date prices from, let's say, January to sometime in this year. So what I want to display now is that here when it comes to like crypto data, it's usually not highly seasonal data, right? There are a lot of external indicators that determine whether a price of a crypto goes up or goes down. It's not as simple as day of the week or month of the year and so on, right? So in these cases, you do need to provide some external indicators, some external variables in order to get a good performance. But just to give you a glimpse of how you can do this univariately. So what I mean by univariately, let's say I just have the price of this crypto, as you can see here below, and I want to train a model. So here I'm going to show you the option of upload YAML file. So this is what I was talking about when I said the user has the option to customize model requests. So let's say I upload a YAML file. So that YAML file looks like this. If you can see my screen here, it has a structure where it's basically like it's like a request to the SYBIL API that's hosted, right? And here you can kind of, if you want to customize models, you can determine which models you want to feed in, as well as the pre-processors that you want to feed in, any kind of scaling you want to do, as well as specific model parameters. For example, if you're training an LSTM model and things like that. So this is if you want to try something other than the default model request, right? So if I train it on this data set here, let's give it a few seconds.
Where are you hosting this?
Oh, we're hosting it on AWS EC2 instance.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah. Yeah. So just give it a few more seconds.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yay!
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, let me also on. Hey, hi everybody.
Hello, welcome, Matty. I don't know what was happening, but it's great to see it's working now.
Yeah, maybe while we're waiting on this progress, it's very good to discuss this question that you had, Madi.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. By the way, thanks for the presentation, guys. So if you go to the previous plot that you showed on the air passengers dataset.
Oh, I've refreshed that session. I can.
So one issue that I noticed is that in the historical instances, there was a trend.
Right.
In your predictions, there was no trend. We can try that. You can try that data set again.
Okay. Let me just wait for this one to run, and then I'll show that one.
I'm just going over this one, and then we can circle back.
I think probably everybody noticed it. Even me, as a non-AI machine learning guy, noticed there was a clear trend going up with ups and downs. And then I was a little bit surprised that your prediction kept it at the same level as the last one, whereas the actual data going forward indeed went up with the trend.
Exactly.
So your model failed to recognize the trend in the data. Which indeed, as Mari said, is a little bit disturbing if you're talking about the most simple use case. If you would want to use the same model for price predictions on Bitcoin or whatever, I would be a little bit disturbed by that first example. And I saw Kevin mentioning that this is a simplified model due to demo purposes to have it speed up a little bit. So maybe that's part of the answer, but
well, actually, the fact that it's a simple model means that this trend should definitely be predicted. If the trend is not being predicted on a simpler data set, then it's just very unlikely that it will be predicted on a more complex data set.
So the thing here is that when we look at the default model requests, we're feeding in some selective models for in order to train the data. And this works well on a lot of different data sets. But the idea is that on some data sets, you will see that, as you mentioned, I mean, you are right in mentioning that in the case of the airline passengers, it wasn't able to perfectly capture the peaks. It captures the seasonality and the level, but not the trend, right? And so that's the thing where we have like a customized option for customized model parameters where you can the user does have the option to feed like the more advanced models to see if they can like fit better onto those data sets. But yeah, that's that's one thing that we have observed. But generally in high seasonal data, so I can even show you where so this is the crypto example, by the way. If you're forecasting it univariately, even though there's not a lot to go by, it does seem to capture some
Well, even
increasing.
here, can you zoom in the predictions region?
Yeah,
Blue are the predictions, right?
yeah.
Right now, so with the actuals, I can see
Mhm.
that there is some seasonality and there is almost no trend at all. With your predictions, there is no seasonality and there's a very strong trend. So I don't think there is a problem. I don't think the problem is related to the data set. So we saw a problem in the previous data set. We see a problem here. I don't think the problem is really the data set. I think there's a problem at a very, very, very foundational level that will persist regardless of the data set you try.
Um, I don't know. For me, I wanted to know what's the I don't know if that would be right to ask, but what's the mathematical function we are using for this forecasting? Yeah, I want to know, and then yeah, what is the model function you're also using for the training as well? Because I feel like Madi said at the fundamental level, we that could be where this is coming from. But again, I'm not discarding the work. I understand how all of this can be very complex, but sometimes it can just be to tweak around with the functions and those mathematics to get maybe better trends and seasonalities as well. And again, finally, it could also be maybe the use case of the data. Maybe this can be specific to certain use case, and maybe it works with those. Maybe that can be another thing we have to look. So those were the things going on in my head.
Do you want? Oh, you got this side?
No, you can go ahead, Kevin, if you had something to add.
Yeah. So maybe Simon, if we can scroll up a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I guess first question is about like what are the kind of like the mathematical functions. So you're using the default method, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think so going back, like in the default method, we have like a series of like naive, seasonal naive. So as mentioned before, we have like a ensemble of like different forecasting models that we're using. That's what SYBIL is designed to do. And currently, we're just for demonstration purposes, we're using like our default setting, which includes like naive, seasonal naive, like auto arima, etc. But I think as what Sai also showed, that you can actually further customize the different type of models, including setting the different parameters. So it could be more like you could adjust it more closely to what the data set that you need.
But isn't that kind of defeating the main purpose? Because at the beginning, I thought the main purpose is that this is going to be easy to use, meaning that as a user, you don't need to know the details. But now if the user at the end will have to adjust those details to get any reasonable forecasts, then that's kind of, for me, it sounds like it's defeating the main purpose.
I mean, this is a way to, well, first, like you can have like a baseline method to have like the default settings, but if you need to adjust, you can adjust using the kind of like that configuration file that Sai just showed, rather having to develop the model like from scratch, like having to develop. So maybe if Sai can like kind of walk through a couple of examples, and also like looking into the kind of like the YAML file that we have as well.
Can you also increase the forecast horizon if you want to try something new? Can you increase like the forecast horizon?
Yeah.
So you just need to supply the future dates that you want the forecast for. And just to illustrate the point, I think if I can just quickly show another use case here. So there is this M1 forecasting competition, which is meant to test data sets, meant to test forecasting models on different data sets, right? So I just want to show you how, like, the reason we've kept the default model as is, and to answer your point, Mahdi, the ease of use case here is that the default configuration should give you a decent forecast in a lot of cases. Now, I know the airline passengers data set is that's at the back of your mind, but from
But
what
also
we've
this is
noticed,
the crypto one also.
so the thing with the crypto one as well, Mahdi, is that crypto data, as I mentioned, right? Crypto data is, you need multivariate forecasting for crypto data, right? This example that I showed you was univariately. So you're just providing the crypto data and no external indicators. Because
Okay, so
on its,
can you show an example where the default model works?
yeah, I'm showing you that now. So this is from the industry domain within the M1 forecasting competition. So this is a data set from there. I use the default model. Okay, trained. It's predicting.
Again, there is almost no trend.
But this matches up really well with the actuals here. There is a slight increasing trend.
But then in your yeah, it matches up the actuals, but can you like put this dash line at a much earlier point in time, for example, 1986?
I could prepare that data. I'd have to, yeah, prepare that CSV file, but essentially if I feed that in, so yeah, so what you're saying is that if the trend line is more steep,
yeah,
you wanna, I could try to create that data set. I don't have
no,
that
but
right
you
now.
don't need. I don't want to take too much time. You don't need to do it right now. But from all these cases that you showed, for me, it looks like even with the simple cases, there's some problem that is preventing the model to forecast the trend among other things.
I think based on what evaluation we have done, and we've tried on different data sets, seasonal data sets, non-seasonal data sets, there are definitely some data sets where it might not capture the correct trend, but there are a lot of data sets where it does, even the default model configuration. That's why we've set it up this way. This is honestly what I feel. But Kevin, if you can add as well.
I think we can, yeah, thanks for that, Marty. We can go back, kind of take a look, and then kind of get back to you guys about this one. Well, I think the purpose here is just kind of demonstrate like what SYBIL does, more like from like a UI standpoint, as a demonstration.
But sure, thanks for that explanation, Kevin. There's a reason I'm asking these questions, because at the end, what matters is that how does this tool compare with the existing tools that are out there?
Get back to you on that, Marty.
Yeah.
Yes. So you can continue, Sai.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, guys, for the answers with me.
Of course, and thanks for the feedback, Mati. If I can quickly, I know taken up a lot of time here with the demonstration, but if I can quickly go over some of move forward in our presentation. So just alluding to what we had said earlier, right? This was one of our concerns as well, is that, okay, SYBIL as a general purpose forecaster, it might do well on some data sets, might not do as well on other data sets. You need something robust to test out on like various different data sets, complex one, simple one. This is something we did carry out as an exercise, is to test these models and these configurations on different data sets. So what we have done is that we're looking at an error metric called MASE. So it's the mean absolute scaled error. What this does is that this essentially scales whatever error we get from each of the individual models by a baseline model. And in our case, what we've used is a baseline naive rolling forecast, which is as simple as saying if you have 10 days of forecast, each day is just the is just predicting the previous day. So that's what a naive rolling forecast is, right? And the reason I've done that is there are some benefits to MASE over other metrics, but SYBIL does have the functionality for other metrics as well, like SMAPE, because we understand that, we shouldn't be looking at all of these metrics in isolation. You should be using them in conjunction. So we do have the functionality to include other metrics as well. So coming to some of the results that we found. So this is again the Monash M1 dataset, the M1 competition. So here models 1 to 9 are some of the baseline, some of the base models that exist out there, the statistical models that exist out there, like Autorema, like GPM, and so on. And 10 and 11 are essentially that ensemble feature. So these are the meta models within SYBIL. So what we've noticed is that on a lot of these data sets, the meta models actually are performing much better than any of the individual models by combining them in a smart way. So this is where it sort of uses that wisdom of crowds theory into practice here. So even in the case of the M3 competition, when looking at monthly, daily, yearly data sets, we notice, as you can see in green color, so these are the numbers here, they rank pretty highly in terms of performance compared to the baseline models. And so, yeah, that's just to answer the question whether is SYBIL robust enough? Does it perform consistently enough on different data sets? Because I know that's obviously a concern, but yeah, I think it should, on many seasonal data sets that we have seen, it does produce decent results. So I think I can hand it over to Kevin for the next steps. And
yeah, thank you so much for that, Sai. Yeah. So I can go ahead. Actually, I can like use your screen for this. So maybe as like a future step, I think the first step is that yes, even though that we have completed like the milestones for civil service, we can always continue to maintain and improve like the civil service. And one of the things we're looking to do is to onboard pilot users. So if you're interested in exploring like SYBIL, we're more than happy to like chat with you offline and hope we can collaborate. And then at the same time, we are continuing to implement and deploy new services. So like in our pipeline, we have MOC, which is model agnostic uncertainty quantification from Deep Funding 3, as well as Deep SYBIL from Deep Funding 4. So one thing that we're going to do is that we're going to like have all the different more the deep learning model capabilities and move it more into the deep SYBIL service. For example, we had like recurrent neural networks, RNN LSTM from SYBIL, and then we'll be moving it to deep SYBIL as part of one of the milestones for deep SYBIL. And then at the same time, we also plan to incorporate MOC, which is to provide like probabilistic prediction forecast for SYBIL as well. So I think ultimate goal is that we can have these different services interoperate with each other as a kind of a chain of AI services. Like for example, SYBIL, it can call on like onboard neural profit, which is another service we have for DF2, as well as MOC, and as well as eventually deep SYBIL as well to get its deep learning capability. So who knows? This could be one of the early stages for decentralized AI. Next slide. Yeah, and then we also have two announcements. The first one is that we have open source our SYBIL code. So it's available through this link. It is under the GNU version 3 license, which is a copyleft license. And we're also open for contributors as well. So if you're interested, in like taking a look if you have specific like issues, as well as like you want to do like pull requests to improve the code base. We're more than welcome you to be part to contribute for SYBIL. And then the second one is that we'll also be present at the upcoming AGI 2024. So another of our team member, Daniel, he'll be there in person, and we're hoping that we can maybe have a table there and then to further like demo SYBIL in the conference as well. Next slide. Yeah. So like a shout out to like our like SYBIL and onboard team members that we had currently and previously as well. I know like this has like been a long journey, and I'm really glad that for all of you guys to be like part of it, to be a part of this journey to get to where we are right now, and let's keep up the good work. Next slide. Yeah, so this is our presentation demo. So if you have any questions, you can email me, and these are my Telegram and Discord, and there's also my SYBIL like information from the web UI as well as GitHub. Yeah, thanks all.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Kevin and Seyram. Just to close in a good note, I just would like to ask anyone here, if anyone has questions, now is the right time to speak up and to, you know, or comments, I guess, to Seyram and Kevin. Now is the right time for you to speak up and tell us what you think. That would be really great. So I'll give you like a few minutes if anyone wants to speak. I guess. Rafa.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah. Considering no one is making any question, of course, it's amazing. The technical part behind this time series and SYBIL are very interesting approach to have, especially in our marketplace. And that's come the question, which is not technical, is more in the sense of the choice of going this direction of prediction and foresight. Do you see how do you see the not only the market and in the light of what we already talked Kevin also how do you guys see the perspective of market and users for the solution? Because again, just to clarify to everyone as well, something that the Deep Funding program is also concerned and willing to help and support the teams is with the after, right? The aftermath. Let's put like this, where you had all the work, we funded the solution, the service, and now we want for you to be successful and self-sustainable in the operations of the service. So how do you envision the market for users, partnerships, and et cetera, for this solution? Perhaps here I'm doing this for open the mind also of the others that might propose solutions that will consume from your project or are going to create something related to it as well.
Yeah, thanks for that question, Rafael. So I think from like the previous couple other slides, I think one thing I forgot to mention, like for example, the interoperability of the different AI services. Right now, we're developing the different services to be kind of interoperate with each other from like SYBIL to mock and deep SYBIL, but it doesn't necessarily have to be only our services. We definitely are looking to actually be able to be plugged in to others services out there that are, for example, more like application based. And I think we are in discussion with a couple of other projects that are also part of Deep Funding, with the possibility to see how they can like incorporate using the SYBIL models for their application, and then ways that we can further improve on SYBIL. So I think that could be like a starting point, but I'm definitely very open to hearing like also hearing more like from you, like Rafael, SNet, and the ecosystem, how we can further like kind of like grow like the usability of SYBIL, and as well as other like services in general.
No, yeah, perfect. Oh, we are totally on the same page here. We want to provide also this type of support, which is going to be needed not only for your project, but also for many others. We understand we are in a nascent or a raising market, and this is going to be needed definitely from our side as well. And therefore, after our monthly meeting that we had, we are sharing with the awarded teams a survey where we can get many of these insights that you might bring for us and how we can support and how you can, mainly how you can support each other, which is also the sense of community that we want to have with peers supporting and connecting and creating this network and systems of systems and etc., which is the ultimate goal, I believe, here. Yeah, but thank you, Kevin and Siran, for the presentation. Very interesting.
Yeah, thank you, Rafael.
Yeah, on my side, also huge thank you. It's not easy to be here on the spotlight to show what we've done and to be, just like that. You're kind of vulnerable, so that takes a lot of courage, and that's what we need. We need to come here, show what we do. You've done some great job, and I hope you enjoyed being here as well. And all this feedback and interaction, because we certainly enjoyed having you and learning about your project and what you've developed so far, and also seeing that you have a lot stored for the future, which is pretty great. So congratulations, Kevin and Sarah. And right now, I'll just ask Jan and Rafael if they have any final words. And if they don't, I think we are coming to that sad time where we are wrapping up our town hall for the day. So let's see if the Deep Funding team has some last words to add.
Well, before Jan, then he can really has the last words. Yeah, about what Cardoso, it's exactly this. The transparency comes with a price, right? And this price is the cost of improvement. That's actually something good. That's why we are always pushing for this transparency and showing what we are doing and what, why, and how we are doing. So yes, again, congratulations for the team that's here. And I hope to see every project that we have using town halls to be able to connect with the community and having this accountability for those that voted in the project and those that didn't vote as well, but contribute with our great community here. Okay, so yes, now, yeah, please.
Yeah, what can I add to that, Rafael's? No, I think it was a great session, actually. We had a lot of people. I also see some names that are not immediately recognizable to me, so I think that's a good thing as well. I think this was a very good example of what town halls should be and could be about. I hope to see more of it. I hope to see more, as Rafael was already saying, updates on projects, demos on projects that we've been doing, maybe together with some instructions. Yeah, what I also really like, Kevin, was your insights on the process. I think we can do more of that as well, because that way you're guiding other people in our community with your tips and advice. So yeah, there was a lot to like here today. Yeah, and yeah, if you demo, you can get some criticism, which is not a problem as long as it's constructive.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, for sure.
If you would have chosen just a different example for that first thing, I think it would have gone really great. Then again, I think this is an opportunity to learn as well. So
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, everybody, including Madi, also for your feedback. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Sai, for being here. Hope to see you all back next time, and all the town halls coming up under the great leadership of Cardoso, as Rafael called him.
Okay, I guess Rafael took the initiative and claimed the name for himself.
Yay!
Well done. All right. Thank you, everyone. And also, yeah, Kevin, great point, Jan. Definitely. I think that's a topic we could bring here. And other concerns that we have as a community in deep funding, we should come here and discuss them. And it's also great feedback for the SingularityNET team, as we saw today with Nick. And so it's great for everyone, I think. So if you want, Kevin, just talk to Eric. I know Eric also has a lot of feedback to bring here, and you guys could do something like that. And I'm here to help as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. So thank you so much, everyone that has been here today. We are wrapping up here our town hall. Next time, next week at the same time, I mean. So don't forget it. Just add it to your calendars. I think we'll have Andrea, if all goes well, with very fun and engaging workshops. So you'll actually be participating with your opinion and your feedback, and yeah, and just helping build these important repetition systems. So I hope to see you there. And everyone have a great week, a great weekend, and see you next week. Take care.
Yeah. Thank you all.
Cheers, everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.